market action. How will all of these overnight cues impact our own markets? Our research team is joining in with how the trade setup looks like and the stocks that you need to keep an eye out for in today's session. And of course, the setup on the FNO side of things. First up, Vinny is joining in to get us all the market cues you need to watch out for. Vinny, good morning. What's the setup looking like for our own markets after a weekly loss?
Good morning, Horma. So yes, last week surely we saw a loss coming in, a volatile week that we saw for our Indian markets. Nifty actually erased off all the gains that we had seen in terms of the US election, the rally that we saw post that, and then from the next day, we started seeing a fall coming in for the US markets. Obviously, as well, I beg your pardon, for the Indian markets. Now, what actually impacted it? Global political reasons as well as the economic events. Those are the main concerns for our domestic markets being volatile. Nifty closed below the 24,200 levels on Friday. And the top sectoral gainer was the IT, while the top sectoral loser that we saw last week was the Nifty Realty, which saw a sharp fall coming in. In the Nifty 50, we had seen gains coming in from M&M, TCS, Apollo Hospitals, HCL Tech, and Techema, some of the gainers for the Nifty 50. While in terms of the losers, we kept an eye out on trend. That saw a sharp fall last week. We had Coal India, Hindalco, Asian Paints, as well as Grasim, which were among the losers. Now, key to watch out for is going to be the FII flows. FIIs actually continued to sell last week as well, and domestic institutional buyers remained net buyers. FII flows are going to be the key factors to watch out for. Last leg of earnings season, so keep an eye out on individual stocks. CPI as well as WPI data for India this week is going to be key, as well as US inflation. And especially today, some of the earning movers, we could see ONGC, Britannia, Hindalco, as well as Jubilant Food, which would be in focus, but GIFT Nifty indicating a muted start even today for the Indian markets.
Signs of caution coming in from the GIFT Nifty as well, a 100-point downtick as we speak. Over to Upasana now, who lists out the stocks you need to watch out for. Upasana, good morning. What's on your list?
Good morning. First up, let me start with Tata Motors. Company reported earnings lower than estimates. Revenue was down about 4% on a one-year basis. And EBITDA margin stood at 12% versus 13.1%, while Street was working with a poll of 13.6%. Now, coming to Asian Paints, again reported a weak set of numbers. Domestic volume declined by 0.5% versus expected 6 to 8% growth. And margins also stood at 15.4% versus the poll of 18.3%. Next up is LIC. Company reported strong set of numbers. Q2 was much ahead of the street estimates. VNB margins expanded by 275 basis points at 18%, much above the street estimates. Next up is Aarti Industries. Now the weakness continues in Q2 as well. Company reported operating margins at 12% versus 16% on a one-year basis. And mind you that the company has lowered its EBITDA guidance for FY25 from 1,400 to 1,050 crore. Next up is Aurobindo Pharma. The company reported revenue in line, but there was a miss in terms of margins and profitability. Divi's Labs also remains in focus. Q2 was better than estimates. Double-digit revenue growth was driven by increased demand in custom synthesis and emerging generic. Now, Welspun Corp will also remain in focus as company reported strong set of numbers. EBITDA margin stood at 12.1%, while there was an estimate of around 9.4%. Ola Electric earnings much below the estimates. Net loss narrowed from 524 crore to 495 crore, and revenue was up about 39% on a one-year basis. Now, GET&D India will also be in focus as company reported very strong set of numbers. Revenue, EBITDA, profit at multi-quarter high, and revenue saw growth of as high as 59% on a one-year basis. And lastly, DCX Systems will also be in focus as company bags order worth 460 crores from Lockheed Martin Global. So all these stocks will remain in focus today.
Plenty to watch out for, Upasana. Thanks a lot for that. Over to Sudarshan now with cues from the FNO space. Sudarshan, good morning. A truncated week, but downside levels opening up on the Nifty again.
Morning, Harmaj, that's correct. So amid heavy FI selling on Friday, we saw that amid all the volatilities through the day, Sensex and Nifty closed with minor cuts, while major fall was seen in the mid-cap index, which saw a cut of more than 1%. Even for today, GIFT Nifty is indicating a gap down start. Currently, it's down almost 100 points. Talking about the flows, selling by FIs continues on Friday. Also, FIs have sold more than rupees 3,400 crore, while buy figure by DIs was just around 1,700 crore. Even on the index future side, sell figure by FIs was of more than rupees 300 crore, and they have added short contracts of more than 4,000. And with this, their long exposure has now reduced to 24%, which is lowest since last that we saw in the month of June. And on the client side, we continue to see addition of long contracts. They have added 2.5 lakhs, and now their long exposure stands at 67%. On the option front, on the call side, 24,200 calls saw addition of more than 13 lakh shares and premium was 124, and on the put side, 24,100 put has seen addition of 12 lakh shares and premium was almost 124. Important levels for Nifty, support is now seen somewhere around 24,050, that is the intraday low on Friday, and resistance is now at 24,250. Stocks that are in focus, first one is Manappuram Finance, it has entered F&O ban. Another stock that might be in focus is Asian Paints, which has been seeing the short build-up, and now on Saturday, company has announced Q2 earnings, which have been like much below all the estimates that we have had.
Asian Paints will be the one to watch out for, isn't it? Sudarshan, thanks a lot for that.